Faisal Bhai,
Hey, how are you, Dennis?
good man. I haven't seen you since Multan, or was it Karachi? No, Multan.
No, that was in Multan, mate.
Yeah, yeah. You came up and I got to share the story. I got to share the story. You came up to me and said,
Yeah.
"Hi, Dennis. This is Faisal," and I had to say, "Yeah, I know who you are."
The problem, obviously, I've not been the Pakistan team from 2014. So
Yeah,
sometimes when you move in your life as a normal player and someone someone like me, is always going through tough times. So sometimes I forget that I don't know if people know me or not.
no, mate, that's my job. All right, so for those who are watching now, this is Faisal's first ever Instagram live. So he's a little bit nervous. He doesn't know what's coming at him, but we'll look after him. But what?
Hey, don't
But
worry.
what?
I always enjoyed Australian bowling.
But what you need to do, if you want to ask Faisal a question, hit the question button and put it in there, and it'll come up on the screen, and you'll get to see your name asking Faisal a question. And we've got a few because for those who are unaware, obviously Faisal is the batting coach of Karachi Kings this year, and Karachi are sitting second on the table as we look at the PSL, which is currently suspended. And the other cool stat, Faisal, I wanted to share. This was my favourite stat about your cricket career. Because someone said to me before, I said, "Oh, Faisal's coming on there." And, some people, everyone has fans and everyone has haters. I'm the same. And one of your haters said, Faisal, he wasn't a good batsman after 26 tests. He only had 100. And I had to remind this person that after 26 tests, Steve Waugh had no hundreds. So that's how it was.
Yeah. The
Anyhow,
problem, Dennis, the problem in our part of the world, I'm sure you have been around, you've been, through PSL, you've been traveling around everywhere. We were watching you on social media, I'm sure you travel around the world, coming from Australian background. You can understand that the sense of mindset we have here is totally different to compare to everyone around the world, especially some funny banters and, cracking some jokes, some sense of humor kind of a thing. You can't get it here because guys like me at times, we feel very, we don't know which world we are living in right now when we come back here in Pakistan and we talk about all these things that, we should learn this friendly banters and, we should learn from foreigners how they enjoy their life. They have jokes cracking around and everything. And, it's very hard for me at times to cope up with things. But I got used to
it. For the next hour, all you're going to do is have a laugh, so don't worry. Well, I'm going to try and make you laugh. Now, first question that came through, and it's come through a bit everywhere I've plugged this, is, Faisal, are you really related to Javed Miandad? And how? And if so, how did it affect your career positively or negatively? Because let's be honest, your haters are saying Pachi. So let's address that.
Dennis, the problem is in our part of the world, I believe media creates a perception for an individual. And I have realized since I was coming into a process, obviously, my uncle, he's one of the best cricketers all around. And, he's always been a character and he likes to, give sticks all around and, things like that. Some people never used to like it in the media. Some, a living legend lives in his way like a prince or a king. So I was coming in a process of, in a normal way of, playing the under-15 World Cup and, just coming into a process. I was lucky that I was in a very good cricket academy in Pakistan. Normally you have seen in Karachi or in somewhere, the people say there's a lot of cement cricket, concrete cricket all around. I was lucky that the academy I was going in was a proper turf wicket. And a former first-class cricketer named Mr. Ahmed Mustafa, he started as a free academy. It was actually a free academy for everyone to come. All he asked for the people from the business community, someone can provide us some free balls and, something like that to carry on. So I was going through, and you normally see that on my social media as well. Sometimes I post pictures of my academy of the great players coming to Pakistan, touring for the test sides or the sides. They do come to our academy and you can see the pictures of them all around with us. And me being a fan by looking at them, was just growing up into a system. So you can imagine a boy like me who's from a cricketing family, see the same players having dinners around in our family, and same players coming into our academy coaching. And the blood was pumping so fast about cricket in myself that it was so hard for me to explain that in words. And everyone have their dreams. So just imagine a boy like me who's growing up into that environment, what dreams I was carrying in my mindset. So while I was coming in and going further forward, I realized that the media was playing a different role. They were trying to portray a negative image of just being a parchi or, nepotism and, things like that. They were just trying to play games, maybe up to upset my uncle or, there were a lot of people around who were playing games of taking revenge from my uncle, using me as a scapegoat or something like that. So in the start of my career, I knew it. My father was a professional hockey player, so he guided me through. My coach was there. My uncle, all my other uncles are first-class cricketers. So they all went through all that. So they guided me in the start of my career, what I have to go through with it. I remember I was just in 8th grade or 9th grade. And my uncle told me that you need to decide by yourself what you're going to do, because this will be a very, very, very difficult roller coaster ride for you. You had to face everything by yourself, because I know what will going to come up to you. That is the only reason I am not letting my son to play cricket. So I was going through as a kid. Just imagine a kid like 12 years, 11 years old, listening all that and going through. So the amount of passion and the amount of junoon I had for cricket was something that I was just focused on one thing, that I need to play for Pakistan. Because I was watching all these things in the house. I was watching Javed's green clothing, Miandad written on the back. He's coming from Australia and England. All those things were around. When they won the 1992 World Cup, I literally grew up in my grandmother's house. So everybody, whole of Karachi, came to their house outside. And I was just watching all that. You've seen Sarfraz clip when they won the Champions Trophy, how everybody came. So just imagine me as a kid and watching all that while growing. What mindset I was making by myself of having a career in this profession field. So, this was the start. So the nepotism just came all around with it. And coming to your question is, I think the media is the one that I respect them as well, but they need to be very neutral of portraying a genuine image rather than getting news from here and there that, this is going around and that is going around.
So Malik wants to know, and I think it's the same question a few of us want to know, do you think that therefore having Javed Miandad as your uncle was a negative impact on your international career?
99.9%. And that was the reason. If you look at on record on Javed's couple of statements as well, he said that it's on the record, maybe a couple of years back, he said that he realized that, I was made the scapegoat just because of him. But in my all that experience, I realized it was not only his issue. The issues was all coming together from my teammates who were getting around, when you are someone captaining Pakistan at all levels, coming from that, you get your, insecurities with your mates around. There are lots of things was going around at one time. So I had to take all the challenges of facing uncle's issues, facing former cricketers' issues, and my teammates' issues. And, everybody just wanted me to, that I should not play. They're just trying to dig up holes at every level. But Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed that at least I fight it out with everything with my own willpower. And today I'm just sitting in front of you and giving an interview to Dennis the Menace.
If this is the highlight of your cricket career, then you've got a long way to go, Faisal.
I love Aussies, man. I love Aussies. I just love them. I have so many friends from there.
All right, so I've got two questions. I'm just trying to think which order to ask them in. I'll ask this one first. So you've lived this criticism of Pachi, and it's obviously had an impact. Imam al-Haq had the same issue, right? He's nephew of Imam when he was the chief selector. What advice do you give to Imam to get, because he's still getting it? I was at the PSL and I was hearing the crowds in Karachi. Was it Karachi? Where was he? That must have been Karachi, chanting Pachi, Pachi when he's coming out to bat. And for those that aren't from Pakistan or India listening right now, and are trying to understand what the hell Pachi means. Pachi is like nepotism. You only got the job because of somebody that you know or because of some privilege. So They were chanting Pachi to Imam. What advice do you give him?
Just imagine I've faced the same words all my career in Pakistan also and in abroad also, especially in Pakistan, because I made my debut in 2000 and I played the last series in 2009. So till 9 years I was playing home series all around. So just imagine every ground I was walking in, what I was going through. You had a personal experience of him. So I realized that, and when he was coming and other players were coming, you can see on social media and media, I was always supporting these boys. And because I know Imam he was in Karachi and he was in my PIA academy. So I know him from junior cricket days as well. I know what dreams players coming from the family-oriented families have as well, compared to the dreams of all the other cricketers are coming from all around, nothing different. But again, I will repeat the same thing, that media needs to draw a line to judge these players. If someone is family oriented, you cannot portray an image. I question those journalists, that what is your personal workout of that individual have you done in the field of journalism to go there and see his stats, that where he's coming from? Did he play junior cricket? Did he play club cricket?
All right, Faisal. Name some names. Which journalists?
I don't want to name anyone, man. I'm just saying about. See, we get this thing in Pakistan, so that's why I said I respect everyone. There are good journalists also, but there are some, who just try to find loopholes, or just trying to portray bad image of, especially for people like us, and then they indulge those former cricketers also, who we have played with. Start to do and say the same thing. There are some individuals. See, I respect every cricketer who play one match for Pakistan also. I don't talk about those people who just play one or two games and say, oh, he just played a couple of games and he's talking about. I don't do that. I respect everyone who gets the national cap of anywhere around the world. But I feel sad by listening from them that they had so much of grudge of family-oriented players. They just, because maybe somebody is portraying them into their brains. Maybe some former cricketers who are supporting them from the back, have the same mindset and pushing the same thing to them, and they're just maybe following their agendas. So I always say, if you have spent your years in the cricketing field, see and feel the same thing for the same person who is working hard in the same cricket field, no matter he is from any cricketing family or any part of the world. See, I can give you many examples. Look at Chris Broad. Look at Sean Pollock. Look at the Marsh brothers. Look at I've seen so many players all around the world. There's a different culture of cricketing genes. People support all around the world compared to in our part of the world.
No, but Faisal, the Marsh brothers in Australia have copped so much shit because of their relations to their father, Jav. And, if there was an Aussie word for Pachi, we haven't made it up yet. We need to create one. But they
you already got it.
Yeah, no, but they have copped an immense amount of shit, especially Mitch, for so many opportunities,
Yes.
and so understand all that. But and this is where I want to take this conversation. The criticism for them came maybe not so much in the selection, but after not performing so well after a period of time.
Exactly.
Then, rather than focusing on you're not performing well, it's you're still getting picked because of the Pachi. Now, in your case, if I look at your Test career, and if I'm being a very objective look at it, it's hard to say you hit the lights out. It was okay. It wasn't. You're not Sachin Tendulkar, but
just to add you up something in between, just in your question. See, the problem in my thing is, lots of people, they just look at the stats and they don't talk. But there are many people who have followed me from junior cricket till all the way to the end, and they talk different. If you listen them, they will say, no, this was the problem. If you analyze all my games and see all my games, I don't mind. I only say that the era I was in the start, okay, it's fair enough. You had Inzama, we had Yusuf, and we had Yunus. Even Yunus made his one-day debut with me in 2000. So you can say Yunus and myself came together. Misbah and Shoaib, we were all together. But what I was observing in the squad and observing when the senior players or, people were there, they were more supportive towards the different players. And I used to feel like, stranded in one corner. isolated, never been taken around on, like you normally hear that, player go on dinners and all that. So they always used to, leave me back and uh, you can say mentally disturbed kind of a thing. So just imagine as a kid, when you are growing into that thing and coming into there, and then you'll see you're not being developed properly. You're being thrown into games of different batting positions. They all knew that I was a proper middle order batsman. I batted at number 4, 5, and 6, and throughout my career, I'm proper middle order batsman. But even in my debut, test debut, you can see I came in number 3 and moved the number around after that. In my debut, I batted in the middle, but in the second test match, I straight away went number 3 because obviously the senior was coming back, and I didn't mind all that. I honestly tell you, with hand on my heart, I was so happy that I'm around with these great legends. I'm learning from them, like a kid, one focus.
Yeah.
But one thing I had in my mind was, okay, fair enough. Maybe they're thinking to develop me like others getting developed. And once they go, I will be there and ready. As the time was getting interviews and everything, I was saying, oh, I'm so proud to be around with these seniors. I'm learning and, one odd games, I'm trying my level best. But as the time progresses, I realized that other players were bringing in, and there were just controversies around of being dropped from the squad, shuffle of the. Just imagine if someone is being constantly shuffled and getting one odd games after 6 months, 9 months. Even Tendulkar or even the greatest of the players, cannot have confidence enough to cement their place. So I always have this feeling that, people who were running the show, should have had the same feeling for me also, like the same feeling for their blue-eyed boys. So, I respected them from day one till now. They were my heroes. I grew up watching them. I grew up in front of them because of being around my uncle and all the cricketing fraternity. My first day in the dressing was like I was dreaming, actually. So just imagine, as a kid, expectations were very high from me that, I was expecting the same treatment would come to me as well as I was watching to my other teammates.
Okay, so you use the term blue-eyed boys, but in Pakistan, you're probably only talking about the Pashtuns now, I guess, because if they're blue-eyed.
No, for me, everyone is equal.
I want to ask you this, and it's coming through just quietly. I'm watching the comments coming through, and there's an interesting mix with you. 50% haters, 50% lovers. So you've still got a lot of fans out there.
It's been throughout the career, But the only problem, Dennis, with this thing, I really appreciate that at least you're an honest man and from abroad, covering cricket globally and looking everything in a same vision. Here in Pakistan, you will always see that most of the people will be against me because I'm Javed's nephew. That's the only they find to criticize me is I played because of Javed. Okay, Javed holded my play.
For the record, Javed Miandad was the reason why I started getting interested in Pakistani cricket when he held that bat over Dennis Lilly. That takes some balls at the whacker. I want to ask you this. This Pachi thing really bothers you. And last night, you and our old friend Dinesh Canaria blew up. Now, tell me, because my take. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm going to give you my take. So you don't even have to respond to this, but I'm going to tell you what I saw. Because I don't want to get you into any trouble. You're still working in the game, and me, if the PCB remove my accreditation tomorrow, doesn't matter. I still have our platforms, but. Dinesh Canaria is a convicted cheat, and he got caught in the wrong country, which is the UK, where they jail match fixers. And he denied it for so long, and only recently, like in the last 12 months, has he said, yeah, okay, I did it. And because he's struggling to get work, and he wants to work in the PCB or be a coach or some shit. And on the back of his fixing, there's a guy that got a 6-year jail sentence that he dragged into fixing, who had nothing to do, so he's destroyed careers, he's destroyed families, he's destroyed lives, and now he's playing the religion card.
Yes.
Insofar that he's a Hindu living in Pakistan. That the reason why I'm not getting a fair hearing now is because I'm not a Muslim. And you took him on last night, and you and him were going tuk, and I was watching because normally it's my game to do this. Like I did it with your boss, Dean Jones. But you were doing it with Dinesh Canaria, and I want to understand because he threw at you the Parchi allegation as well. This is a teammate of yours. He went at
Yes.
you with Parchi, and you didn't take well to that. So before this happened, what was your relationship with Dinesh Canaria, and how does it go from that to now this name calling?
I'll
Why
tell
is
you.
Dinesh doing this?
I'll tell you a whole story how it all started. You
Bottle.
know, Danish Canaria and me are one of those cricketers who came from school cricket together. We played inter-school cricket together from same school, St. Patrick's High School. You know, we've almost grew up together in our from school cricket, college cricket, Pakistan under 19. We went to the under 19 World Cup together. We almost literally grew up together. So you know, when you have a mate who you have grown up together, you know each other's stuff very well. You know the strength and weaknesses or whatever.
Yeah.
But with the passage of time, I realized, like I said to you earlier, that my mates who were playing with me and growing up with me were slowly and gradually coming into a mindset of thinking of me just being playing because I am Javed's nephew. You know, the nepotism concept was in their mind all the time. And I knew it, but I never felt in front of them. They were having a partnerships with me in international cricket. Fair enough. I thought, okay, I'm winning their hearts. Everything is going. Okay, if he's a bowler, I'm catching them at short leg, silly point. I'm doing everything. That's something that at least
Yep.
if anybody else is saying who doesn't know anything inside, at least they can stand up for me. But
Yeah.
as the time progresses, I realized that it was just going the other way around. Actually, I was winning hearts of the fans, and I was losing my teammates because they were just always thinking that, okay, if I am playing, I'm because of this, and they are not there. Unfortunately, what happened, because I was a middle order batsman, I was moved up to bat at number 3. So all the batsmen in Pakistan who were openers, even I scored a one-day 100 as an opener if you look into my stats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I created enemies of whole Pakistan from batsman, opener till middle order. You know, so everybody's thinking, oh, the openers is thinking, oh, he's playing because of me. Middle order thinking he's playing. I said, okay, there are 8 batsmen in the team. I can only replace one. What about the 9 players in the team also? They are also batsmen. If you are
Yeah.
not there, could be because they must have replaced you. Why are you looking at me? So the
Yeah.
same mindset is going for Imam as well today. Every opener think, oh, he is not there because of him. What about the 2 other openers in the team also? They are also there. They might
Yeah.
be playing in place of them also. Why they only think about so that is the thing. But coming back to your question about Canaria, so this thing is I didn't expect it my teammates to stab me. They stabbed me even in the Pakistan cricket, domestic cricket, play from Karachi, and they were just constantly trying to find ways of stabbing me. Why I'm captaining Karachi, why I'm captaining Sindh, why I'm captaining PIA, why I'm captaining Pakistani, why I'm, doing all that. So it was just, you can say, jealousy or frustration or something, that was
So
going
how?
around.
But why did it blow up last night? What triggered it last night?
Actually, what happened, you have read that tweet of a video clip of Rob. His name is Rob, I think. Rob
Oh,
Marley.
Rob
Rob,
Moody,
yeah.
Rob Belinda.
Actually,
Yeah.
Rob normally, puts up video clips and, with some of his couple of nice banters and all that around. So
Yeah.
I read that and I just type normal thing, but I've always been a 12 man most of the time in my career. So I just wrote that thing and he said something about sledging. So if you, look at from my perspective, I said it was a dumbass sledge at that time when a guy
Yeah.
was already said. And I was watching all that in the field. I was coming in and out,
Yeah,
fielding
he
and all that.
sledged.
And
It
yeah,
was about Brian Lara, right?
yeah, yeah. So it was all actually about Brian. So it was kind of like a funny thingy. I just wrote in a couple of nice words, or you can say sarcastic word or something in a funny banter between mates or kind.
Yeah.
But maybe I think it was something that triggered him was why did I said that? Maybe because I was constantly criticizing him of playing the religion card a couple of times before also. So maybe there was something boiling up in him and he couldn't understand my tweet at that time. And he took it the other way around without realizing that, I know you from childhood days. Who know you better than me of, taking that thing. So I said, I knew after that sledge when Brian Lara hit him all around, I knew he was gone after that. He was literally gone. Even when I was taking water inside the field, I was just giving him some left, right, and center. What are you doing, man? You shouldn't have done. So, these are planned. You can understand as a friendly banter with teammates, you do
Yeah.
that. We hear a lot of stories from even our former cricketers also, when they used to get hit by the great Gilchrist and, all these batsmen. They used to just
Hey,
have a funny
hey,
banter.
hey. Gillespie was great. He made a double hundred in
No,
Test matches.
it was a
He's
slip
got
of
he's
a tongue.
got
I was.
he's got one more double hundred than you. So
Well, yeah,
no,
I respect him. He's one of the best coaches around in world cricket
yeah,
these
he's.
days.
Now, speaking of coaching, let's talk about your coaching career now, because you made 13,000 first class runs and did all those things in this day.
No, no, no.
There's a
Yeah,
big
Javed
body.
made all that. Javed made all that. I didn't make that.
There's a big body of work there. You don't. Let's be honest. In my eyes, you don't make 13. You don't get past 10,000 first class runs if you're shit. So there's got to be some skill there. Now, you're now coaching. You're in your words, you're in the second innings of your career. You're at Karachi. You're working under Dean Jones. Talk to me about Dean Jones. What kind of coach is he? What type of leader of men is he? What type of tactician is he? Because I saw him in PSL 3, and he was coaching his Islamabad. And he was, back in those days, actually started wearing a tracksuit, and they made him wear a suit because they thought he looked more professional in a suit. But he spent a lot of time thinking. He spent a lot of time on tactics. He was very serious. He was extremely passionate about defending his players, even when they had a bad match or having a bad tournament. Almost loyal to a fault. But I don't know if he's changed since then. What's he like now?
See, firstly, I'll tell you. You asked me about my second innings. So how I started that second inning is something which you can understand from Pakistan perspective as well. You normally see players suddenly pack up their bags and then thinking, what's going on? What should we do? What I did was, because I've done my education, I had the sense of developing myself further when I knew that, the times will be tough for me to play cricket. I need to do something else. So I started doing the expert analysis stuff on telly from like probably 10 years or something back. I was doing coaching constantly in England. When you go as an overseas player in England, you do coaching with the kids and all that as part of your contract. Normally, a lot of Pakistani players go there and they don't take it seriously. But I took it seriously throughout. I did all the courses and everything from England Cricket Board. So actually, I developed myself using my brain and, my senses that, I don't want to waste my time 6 months in England. I need to do something. So I was developing myself while playing from 2-3 years back. I started it in the T10 league in UAE. I'm sure you followed that T10 league. It started in Sharjah 2 years back. And then that was my platform. And then further carried on, I was lucky that Mr. Salman Iqbal saw me there because he was the president of T10 League in the first edition. And, he spoke to me that, did you stop playing cricket and what your plans? So I told him that, I'm trying to follow those players who try to get their second innings preparation while playing. So I'm playing, but it won't be long. But this is my career. I want to work with the batsmen all around. And I had a brilliant chat with him, and I'm thankfully to him that, he picked me up from that season onwards with the Karachi Kings. And I always appreciate him that, he given me the platform. And since then, I'm working my level best. Regarding your question, coming back to Dean Jones, I want to thank Wasim Bhai also because he was always been my hero. And, he's helped me out this thing. I'm learning from him as well. So coming back to Dean Jones, I worked with him in 2003 as a player coach. He came to Pakistan in 2003 doing commentary thing, and we were playing against South Africa. So Javed was coach at that time, and he called him up at our nets, and he said that, just have some word with our batsmen, and, young boys are all around. So we were all around, Misbah, myself, and, Malik and everyone. And I had that experience with him, and I knew that, he knows how to work. And then we toured to Australia in 2010 again. You remember the famous tour. And he came at one of our test matches also at the practice session. And, I did posted that picture also, me and him having a batsman and a coach conversation. So I had that experience with him. I knew him from long time back. I knew him that, he's always respected Javed as well. So while coming into PSL, I saw his work ethics while I was in Karachi Kings and he was in Islamabad. The result speaks himself. And this year, when I saw him so closely, I think he's one of the best coaches around in world cricket. He's
But
very
why,
passionate.
Faisal, why? Talk me through. Why is he so good,
See,
or what?
the thing which I've seen him this year closely is he's involved in cricket 24/7. His mind is working all the time. I spoke to him many times about some batsman thing, and and he respected and regarded me. That I'm thinking the right thing, and he was thinking the same thing as well, and how so. He gave me confidence. Maybe I think I wouldn't have got the same from some Pakistani at that time, but that's why I respect foreigners, that they respect you by your work, not by your who you are related or something.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciated and respected him. And I enjoyed his work ethics. I'm learning from him, because obviously I'm in a position like a young player coming to make his debut while playing. So it's the same thing. I'm in a newcomer in the coaching thing and learning from these lots. Plus my experience of learning, working with the great coaches I've worked in my career, like Bob Woolmer and Jeff Lawson, and all these blokes I've been around. So when you come into this
But
role, all that experience come into play. So I picked a lot of things from him, and I can tell you on spot that he has his mind working 24/7. He works very hard in his tactics and plannings and meetings. But I'm learning from him. Seriously, he's someone you can learn from. Wasimba is there, one of the best cricketing brains. Captain, my captain always. I respect him. My mentor. And there are heroes. We have grown up watching them on telly. Dean Jones playing and Wasim Bhai playing and all the laws. Just imagine a boy like me with so much of rush of blood cricket in him from his genes when he's there. It's always about cricket discussion, cricket talk. I just talk and discuss and learn. Actually, my thing is I learn from everyone and I respect everyone, and it
so,
just goes the other way around.
but as a player, so let's talk about, say, a difficult challenge must have been Shaquille coming back into the squad this year, because we all know what he did 2 years ago. And everybody watching this who's following my channel knows my thoughts on that. We're not going to go into that. I'm not going to put you in that situation. But what I do want to understand is, with somebody like that who's essentially stepping back into cricket, it's a difficult franchise to play at. There's high expectations being at Karachi. Dean Jones is a no bullshit kind of guy. Tell me about how Dean Jones managed and brought someone like Shaquille back. And then I also want to know how you discussed with Shaquille and what things you were talking about him with as his coach for batting, because his tournament was not very good.
Yeah, absolutely. See, what happens these days when you are in a coaching environment, obviously the head coach runs the show, and we all are support staff. We talk to them and discuss with them. Obviously, Sharjeel is someone who played under my captaincy in domestic cricket also, so I know him as a player captain, and as a player colleague as well. When someone is coming like that, we all know that someone is hungry. He's hungry. We knew it. He's hungry. I knew it. He's hungry, and I knew it when he's in. He's definitely gonna play, all the games and to get his confidence back and everything. And he slowly and gradually worked it out. I worked it out with him was when I used to play against him as an opposition captain. I used to talk to my bowlers how we have to get him out. So I worked the same thing around with him in that coaching process, and slowly and gradually started working out. But I realized he knew himself. Everybody knew that he had put a lot of weight on him, which I believe that might be his timing was not getting into that place, because maybe he's got a lot of weight. But by looking at his past career, he was always been on a bulky side. He was not a guy who's been slim and gone like this. So his timing was the main thing. So I tried to get his timing back, constantly talking to him, and the same thing Dino was also doing. And we all were on one goal, that we need to get him on his feet back. If we have picked him, he's hungry. Let's try to get the maximum utilization of him. So slowly and gradually, he picked up. Obviously, you can understand if someone is coming back after a rusty 2 years. He can't be at Sachin Tendulkar on day one. Obviously, you need to get the rhythm and everything of that in international environment. So once, as a coach, you have gone through all that, it's easier for you to communicate to someone who's coming into the same shoe as well. So I tried my level best from my perspective to help him out in every way. And the same thing was done by Dino as well, by Wasim Bhai as well, but from every one of the coaching staff. Even the captain, he was around. If you see one of the innings, he was batted with Babar. I don't remember which game. I think maybe it was against Lahore we played in Karachi when we were with 10 wickets. If you see that whole inning, it was planned that, Babar should bat, with him and constantly guide him. So you need to give credit to Babar also here that, he was there constantly to, help him out from the other end as well. So, that's how a team works and that's how a team play and that's how you make a strategy. So by looking all that, I do appreciate him that, he's constantly training. He constantly shares his pictures of physical training these days as well. So if a guy is coming back, he's hungry and, the things are open for him that, what we can do. In fact, I was the first one from some years back when all these players were coming back after all those bans and match fixings. I was the one who said a lot of things about Mohammad Amir being coming back, but I realized after that it's not worth us talking if there's a different rule of PCB of letting them play. So if they are letting them play, what can we do or no one can do? If they are there, they make the decisions. Nobody have got anything to say with it. So slowly and gradually, I got used to with it, and I think that what we heard today and yesterday that PCB is going to make some kind of a criminal law out of it, and I think this is the best thing if this happens. Even ICC supported it today. I was reading just a while ago. So,
Yes.
this is what everybody was talking, players like us who have played with clean heart, with a clean career, given everything to our country, always feels for it. That's why you get two sets of mind in these cases. So I'm pretty sure it will help the youngsters coming in future also. And it will at least one or two examples will make fear for other players who keeps away, because if you get caught, in our part of the world, we live very closely to our families. We live in joint families and families. Just imagine if someone gone through all that and do all that, what his family goes through. That's why I tweeted one thing about Canaria yesterday when he pointed finger at me. Why you talking to me about being a nepotism? What face you are showing to your family at home, to your kids and your parents in the house, lying 6 years in front of them, you talking to me. So, these things to be seen by others first rather than finger pointed to others. But credit goes to PCB and ICC for taking it up. And hopefully, fingers crossed that, we get better cricketers coming ahead in future, inshallah.
Inshallah, we can make it a criminal offence to fix matches. I think it'll go a long way. Now, let's talk more about your coaching time at Karachi Kings. Tell me about some of the youngsters coming through that we didn't see enough of. That maybe in future seasons we're going to see some great expertise from. Which players, which batsmen do you see coming through?
I like one of that kid from Peshawar. He went to the Under-19 World Cup this year as well, a batsman. I'm just forgetting his name, but
Haider Ali.
Haider Ali, yes. He is one good prospect, who can, if he keeps his feet on the floor and just focus on his making a career, he can be a good batsman around Babar also. See that this is what we always say. Sometimes we highlight a young cricketer in his early age so highly that because our cricketers are not, coming from a different background, they just take it on a different level and suddenly stop working hard the way they were doing it. So I just pray that, this boy worked his career out in a proper way, in a good direction, and should be around with the right people. This is the word I must always repeat. Should be around with the right people to guide him through, and boys like him coming through. And another one is Umar Khan, as the left arm, that magician kid, who we had. He's a future of Pakistan cricket, definitely, for sure. I can see him.
Tell me about Seth Batter. I've got a soft spot for Seth Batter. I think I like his temperament. I like his technique,
your favorite.
But no one's giving him a chance. Why aren't people giving him a chance?
Because they should. I see. This is what I always see. Sometimes what happens in everywhere around the world, if you take it from a journalism point of view, and I can take it as a cricketer point. Sometimes what happens, there are good players all around, and they are not getting chances for some odd reason. It's the people who are running the show should answer that, when they come into the press conferences. Selectors, people who are their coaches at different level, probably you can say at professional level, or someone who they can at least say something honestly on their player behalf that, either he's in a process of a development in a pipeline, or he's just in the same boat like others.
But Faisal, when Mickey Arthur was coach, he said, I'm not picking Wahab because he hasn't won us a game for 2 years and he's lazy. I'm not picking an Akmal brother because they haven't got the right discipline. Like he told publicly why he wasn't picking players. Now we're not hearing any of this. I look at Fawad Alam and he's picked in 2 squads with Misbah and he doesn't get a match even though his first-class career is off the charts. And when I ask Fawad, I say, why isn't Misbah picking you? He says, Misbah's not even telling me. The communication seems to be broken.
Misbah will never tell who knows Misbah better than me. I was the one. If you look at, go to 2011, 12, 13 tour when I made a comeback. I went to 3 series. Same at Fawad Alam case. Same, exactly. I went to 3 series. South Australia, Sri Lanka, South Africa and Zimbabwe. 8 test matches. I was 12 men on trot. And there was one moment of time in Sri Lanka where he would have easily let me play, where he got banned in ODI series for 1 test match. That's where the whole world said, I'm already in the squad. Why didn't I play? But I knew why didn't I play because the people were insecure or something or the other. Plus, also looking at my past. If you look at my past, all the comeback innings I played, I made runs. So sometimes when you play a comeback innings, big innings, someone have in their mind that if this will be another big inning, then again he'll be stuck in our head. So he didn't took a chance in that one game. And after that, it wasn't picking me up again. And so this is the problem that, they should be honest, which they are not.
Yeah.
They should learn. I always say our people should learn from foreigners how honest you have to be from inside. Our people, that's why I respect a lot to foreigners, because they're honest. If you do something right for them, they'll say it. Look at Colin Ingram last year.
Yeah.
I just worked it out a little bit thing with him, and he was so appreciative that, he said that on the media, what we had discussed as a struggling batsman and coach. So I respect that. I respect that honesty. In our part of the world, it just go the other way around. People start saying, oh, he must have told him to, say that in the media and, all that kind of below the belt thing. So
Yeah, Faisal,
even he was surprised. He was asked the same question at 4 press conferences that why did he said that?
Faisal, but I agree with you. I've been told so many times in Pakistan and for Pakistani media agencies I've worked for, Dennis, you can't say that. Don't ask this. That's controversial. Don't cause any scenes. Don't ask that question. It might be offense. It might make somebody uncomfortable. That's not journalism. That's censorship. Anyhow, we'll move on. We've got some questions, Faisal, from the fans. I'm going to give this one to you. Can you see this on the screen?
He used to wear the totally different helmet. I get this message all the time everywhere. I'll tell you this story now. I'll tell you this story. I was a kid growing up, and in 90s, late 80s, early 90s and mid 90s, it was hard for us to get a kid size equipment here in Pakistan. And slowly and gradually they were making the kid size equipment, and there was no helmet. So there was no kid size helmet in Pakistan. So I always used to tell my uncle when he go on tour, please bring me one small size helmet. And he say, okay, and then he forgets. And while I was growing, after the 1992 World Cup, I remember when he came back, he have always wear his white helmet throughout his career. There's a very good story of that also. I'll discuss it later. And he got that green helmet with him, so he wasn't wearing it. So he brought and he gifted that to me, kind of like a birthday present. He said, okay, you were eating my brain for helmet. There you go. Now don't eat my brain again. And that 92 World Cup helmet was something worth billions and millions for me. It was so precious for me. And I kept it and I wear it throughout my career. I changed the cloth of the kit. Was parrot green. Then I had the other green cloth on it. And, so it was kind of like a lucky helmet for me. I was just flying. And that's why it's one of my favorite helmet. Couldn't change it. A gift from my uncle. And most importantly, it was from the 1992 World Cup. What else could I expect?
Well, there you go. Okay, next question. This is from Cash. Toughest bowler you have faced?
Dennis, when we play international cricket, no country have easy bowlers. Every country had difficult bowlers and, tough bowlers all around. Especially in our era, those days when they were Waqar and Wasim with us, they were always being Gillespie's. all those
Ambrose and Walsh and
Ambrose and Marsh,
Alan Donald
all,
and De Villiers. Yeah,
there
yeah,
you
yeah.
go. So I always say, you recently said about my 13,000 first class runs. I tell you how hard it is for a batsman in a 4-day cricket in Pakistan to face all these bowlers all the time. That's why I respect all the batsmen in first class 4-day cricket games who score runs here, because they are constantly facing different good fast bowlers all around. I always say to my foreign cricketers when they come in PSL, I used to tell them that, this league, my friend, is the only league where won't be easy at any time. Constantly, you will be getting good fast bowlers all around. And they by themselves have said that in the media. So in Pakistan, we were growing up facing all these great bowlers in our domestic cricket. So preparation was all in our own hands, either develop it or destroyed by your own hands. So with playing all of them, once I was there in international cricket and constantly playing the greats in the nets also, like Wasim Bhai, Waqar Bhai, Azhar, Razak, Saklan, and Shoaib Akhtar, and all these lot, the confidence you get in the next day to play an international game was totally different. You don't feel if you're facing one of the greats. With due respect to all of them, but the mindset has always been different. Plus, my coaches, my uncle Javed, always used to teach me all those things, which I applied, and he teach all those
Faisal,
too.
Faisal, who was the best? The question was, who was the
Oh,
toughest?
sorry,
Give me a name.
Shane Bond.
Oh, he was fast.
Yes, Shane Bond was someone, I felt that, I was feeling the ball on my hair, on my bed. Thankfully, I didn't hit it on my head. And obviously, in domestic cricket, you can say Shoaib Akhtar was quick. Mohammad Sami
Yeah.
was quick in my era. It was really tough to face them in the nets, especially when they want to kill me.
Okay, next question. This is an interesting one. This is from Sarah. Who is your favourite Pakistani player from the old times and why? In terms of personality, not in terms of cricketing ability.
Personality, I think I would definitely go with Wasim Bhai, because if you see him, carried himself, is a brilliant example for all the upcoming cricketers. Also, he was always there in training. He was a captain. He was always there in front, and the personality he developed himself. Even today, you can see him how well he speak, how well he looks after his health, especially as a sugar person. It's not easy to go through all that. And so these are the things. Then he came into coaching and then commentary and developed. So a person like me who looks up to people like them, how they are developing. They were my heroes before, and the way they are progressing every day is something I follow the footsteps as well. So definitely Wasim Bhai.
Okay. I have a different view, but that's okay.
Fair enough. You are entitled to your opinion, my friend.
I know.
They were my heroes in our part of the world.
I know. And he was my hero when I grew up too, and then other things happened. Anyhow, should the PSL 5 continue is the question.
Definitely if they find a window. See, Dennis, the problem is we all know we are going through tough times all around. So I'm constantly reading news in the everywhere that people are talking about cricket, and I just sometimes don't understand why they're not serious about the to stay alive from coronavirus first, then other things. Because this thing is it's going really bad all around the world. So I think first things first, we need to get sorted this thing, and if there's a window around that time, then why not? I've read the news about PCB. They're thinking something about in November or December something. If this happens, that it will be brilliant. That we look forward to. I'm looking forward to it this year. That I hope it happens.
Okay, I just had a really good question. I've just lost it. Hold on, it's going to come back.
Again, another Parchi question.
Everyone, no more Pachi questions. We've had enough. I think we discussed Pachi long enough.
Probably my 26 average in test and probably 22 in ODI. These two questions I normally get. They don't bring up anything else.
Yeah,
even from my teammates also.
But there's a lot of questions here about Shaquille and Amir. I won't talk about that because we discussed that already. But I do. There was a good one. Where is it? Sorry. This one is interesting. Your thoughts on Amir and Wahab retiring from Test match cricket? You know, one is age 26 and one was what, age 30 or 28 or something. Like two young men, different reasons, but like, what's your thoughts?
See, my personal opinion about Amir is he had age in his hand. He should have carried on playing Test cricket. That's my personal opinion. Especially when everyone been so nice around him, bringing him back, giving him the maximum opportunities. Even he was struggling in the Pakistan team for 1 year. He was not getting wickets, but he was constantly playing games. We were getting news around that, some of the other teammates in the team, like, the other fast bowlers were not happy that they were not giving chance. So everything was going around there. So I think if I would have been in their shoe, I would at least would have said what I'm feeling inside. If I think that, okay, fine, I'm 26, 28, whatever, and I can't play, I will tell the reason why I can't play. If I'm not fit, I don't have enough strength or whatever it is, I would honestly announce it to my nation that thank you very much. You have, backed me up in my tough times, but this is the reason why I cannot continue. So obviously people's sympathies would come into play that, okay, fair enough. XYZ person think that, XYZ format might give a lot of toll on his body. So in Amir's case, this is my personal opinion, which I just said to you. But obviously, end of the day, everyone have their own decisions on their careers, when to play and when to not. So if he took that,
And Wahab.
obviously, same thing with Wahab. With Wahab, it's a different story. I think Wahab has played a lot of cricket, and the amount of experience and the matches he's played, he should have been giving the performances which Pakistan team needed. 5 wickets, 5 wickets, 5 wickets. Okay, would have done something different and, would have looked different with the younger bowlers around. But there were times he was just looking at ordinary as well. So I think that's why they took the decisions of giving other bowlers a go. And, by the lot of fast bowlers we have, pace batteries coming these days, I'm sure if they want to go with the new bowlers, I think the PCB shouldn't be worried about bringing the young legs, because it goes for everyone. You can see the same for the batsmen. It can go the same for the bowlers also.
Yeah, I think Mickey Arthur really struck a blow on Wahab's career, publicly shaming him about his work ethic and his inability to win matches was something I've never seen before publicly from a coach. But I look back at those times from Mickey Arthur coaching the Pakistan side, and it was probably exactly that style of coach was what was required, because it brought the army camps, it brought Misbah doing push-ups at Lords, it brought it brought all the fitness and it just busted a few things. And it's a shame, in my mind, from what I've discovered has gone on with Misbah and your hero growing up as a child together, teaming up to remove Mickey. Not sure. Look, I hope it plays out for Pakistan, but I'm not happy with how it played out. Now, we had another question for you, Mr. Iqbal, about your coaching aspirations, and do you want to be an international coach?
Well, definitely. Obviously, this is my future profession now. So I'm trying my level best to learn day by day, learning with all the senior coaches all around from different countries, with our own country. I talk a lot with my uncle also, because I believe he's one of the best batting coaches all around. You can see everyone's appreciating the coaching way. Look at Imam said on the YouTube, and everyone is appreciating. And I was a witness, because we were in the team and we used to just pick up the balls and give it to him. And they used to, Imam, by Yusuf and Yunus used to bat for hours and hours, and he just do the throwdown. There was no this sidearm in those days. So I remember he used to do a lot of practice, and we used to learn it while watching at them also. So I say that in Pakistan, he's the godfather of batting coaching and all the coaches. And luckily, I'm close to him, and I ask him if I want to know something about some certain player. So I ask him, and he guides me through in that as well. So it's all part of my learning experience, and what I've seen in all the Pakistani coaches, they are doing. But whatever they have learned from Javed as a player, they are applying the same in their coaching careers for different countries all around, because the Pakistani tactics, I saw it, the Western team was doing also, boys were doing also. So what we used to do it here, the slap thing, and all those batting drills with just Javed used to do it. It's a traditional way of doing it, and certainly when you see the English boys and the West Indians doing it, you know that the coaches from your country are teaching the same thing to them as well. So hats off to Javed of his things going all around.
Okay. Last question.
Even
Faisal,
people
because
won't
we're
like me saying this about Javed now too. It might irk them.
It's gonna be front on Dawn News, on Geo News, on ARY, on PTV. Faisal Iqbal says his uncle is something, something, something.
Hey, I say it on my YouTube channel everywhere as well. He's the best coach all around. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. Last question, because Instagram's going to shut us down in about 2 minutes. They
I'm
do.
enjoying the conversation.
Oh, me too. But they literally just turn it off. They don't give you any warning. It just goes bang and stops. So my last question. This was the first year the PSL, all of it was played in Pakistan, and inshallah, mashallah, I was there to witness it, and I was lucky enough to be there and see what it meant. Next year, hopefully, there'll be no fucking virus, and we can play the whole tournament, right?
Hope not.
Should we have more than 6? Actually, I got a 2-part question. Should we have more than 6 teams next year? So should we open it up to, they're talking Faisalabad or Hyderabad or Ahmedabad, I don't know, something bad, Guada, I don't care. And the second question is, should we move Islamabad United to Rawalpindi and call them the Rawalpindi boys? Because there'd be much more interest in that team. Because no one gives a shit about Islamabad, except for maybe the administration. But if they move to Pindi, it would go nuts.
Well, in our domestic cricket, we always used to have these 2 teams. We had Islamabad team and we had the Rawalpindi team. So make 2 teams also. There's an opportunity.
You've got 1 minute 30 before they shut us down.
Okay. So first things first, I'm really happy that Pakistan, the PSL came to Pakistan. It was all our dreams also, because I was also playing that game against Sri Lanka when that incident happened in Lahore. Yeah. So we were just working our asses off all around the world, trying to convince people that from our platforms that, it's safe and people should come. And once it's there, slowly and gradually it came, I was, you can say, one of the happiest person in Pakistan to see it coming back. So it's good to see that. And hopefully the prayers are with the PSL to develop and grow as much as they can. And if the teams can add it up more, if you ask me from a player and coach point of view, I would say that, more players will get an opportunity to work in it. More coaches can come into it. So, if they can add up 1 or more, 2 more teams, more Pakistani players can get more opportunities and more coaches can come in.
Thanks, Faisal. We've got less than a minute to go. I want to thank you so much for coming on the Insta Live. For those that don't know, this was Faisal Iqbal's first ever Instagram Live. So make sure you follow him. He's doing a great job at Karachi because they started pretty poorly and now they're number 2 on the table. And Dean Jones will say it's because of him, but we all know it's because of you, Faisal.
No, it's because of the players. Actually, they work their asses off. And obviously, Wasim Bhai and Dean Jones runs the show there, and we just help them all around. Okay, well, I've got to shut down. It's going to turn me off in 10 seconds. But for those watching... Tell me one thing. How can I save it to myself as well, the show? You can't. I have to try and download it in a secret way, and I'll share it with you if I can.